Anivia is gonna be put, honestly, here, I would say. Anivia has far longer range than Bart, outtrades Bart during laning phase. She can't really match the roams very well, but she can make it so your AD carry can't play the game at all. So I think I'm gonna put her in Feeling the Spice. Shen is gonna be an even skill matchup. Reason for Shen being there is because your auto attack range is his taunt range. So if you're auto-attacking him, you can basically get taunted, which can put you in a lot of trouble, because Shen early damage is really good. But if you do manage to space him, you outscale him, so you're completely fine in that. Lissandra support seems like one of the very easy ones, right? Netflix in second monitor. She's not a long-range mage support at all. Her CC is low range as well, so she is forced to E into you. So she's basically a bad Camille support, the way I see it, because she's not getting that shield from auto-attacking. Lissandra support is realistically mainly meant as a counter support to other matchups, but into Bart, doesn't feel deadly at all. Nidalee was really hard, but she did get nerfed for the support gameplay, and they nerfed Grasp as well that she abused. So she's basically an even skill matchup now. The reason she used to be really hard, she kinda is for the same reason, she's just less damage now, is that she just controlled brushes and she had so much movement speed in that you could never hit her with anything, and she would weave in and out and continuously auto attack with either Grasp or Airy and just dwindle you down. Alistar is even skill matchup as well. His level 1 and 2 is super weak. You completely control that, but from level 3 you have to respect his all-in a lot. You still get to space him, you still get to be ranged into melee, which means he has to look for perfect windows for him to trade in, while you can just try to trade whenever you actually have the range for it, meaning that he's not on top of the enemy AD carry, because like if you auto attack him or the AD carry while they're both in range of you, you die. So you can't do that at all. Amumu is honestly quite hard. I would kind of put him up here. Amumu's Q follow dashes, so he will follow through your portal, so you can't just portal to escape him. You can't auto attack him through brushes, so you can never play in brush. You have to play through the minion wave, and he's really tanky early game because of his E passive. So I honestly think Bart into Amumu is hard, so I'm gonna put Amumu up here. Annie is one of those, used to be really good, but they nerfed the shield many times, and now she's really easy to play into. Then we have an AD carry. So we have so far only done support. There's so little AD carries in the game compared to supports. When I see Aphelios on enemy team, I would put it here. He spawns in with the green gun, which I believe is like 650 range or 625 range, when your auto attack range is only 500. So you can never really trade with him. So he gets to dictate everything, but you can play through the brush. You can punish when he farms. It kind of depends on the support as well, but he's a good AD carry into Bart. From level 6 though, you get to ult him and he can't do a lot. Honestly, I'm gonna put him down here, even skill matchup. I don't think he's like a counter at all. Ashe, for the same reason as Aphelios. Ashe is 600 range, still a lot more range than Bart. She has far better laning phase, or well, at least early game than Bart, but she is a mobile AD carry, which means from level 6, you kind of get to force flash or kill every time you have your ult cooldown. So that's kind of easy in love if you survive the early levels. Ashe support is never played, so she's not being tier listed here at all. This is purely Ashe AD carry. Aurelion Sol is hard to play into. It's hard to punish his early game where he's supposedly really weak. He is really good at 1v2ing and just farming on the turret and holding the farm. It's like not completely horrible, but it's a bit worse than just a skill matchup. He's definitely stronger than that, so I'm gonna put him there. Blitzcrank is even skill matchup. Get hooked, you're fucked. Dodge every hook and you win. That's basically this matchup here. Roam potential is worse than Bart's as well. Brand support, just like any other mage, Brand is kinda easy for Bart because he has no mobility. The only thing you kinda have to look out for when you're playing Bart is that he has a bit longer range than his abilities, but if you just play around cooldown and you just roam, because he doesn't have a good way of setting up a dive because he can't tank tower shots and he has to do 2 spells instead of just insta-stun. Like it's not like a Nautilus that just hooks right and then you CC it, it's like EQ or WQ. So he's fairly easy. He's fairly easy to play against. Braum is also really easy to play into as Bart. His shield doesn't do too much. It doesn't block the AoE slow from your Meep. It does block the Q, but we don't care too much about that. We are still getting the huge slow from the Meep and the damage from the Meep. If he ever goes in and tries to ult or do anything, you can just ult the back line. He's quite easy to play into from Bart's perspective, I would say. Not a champion I'm ever afraid of when I see it. Just don't get hit by the Braum Q on repeat, right? Caitlyn is the same as Ashe and Aphelios. Super long range, wins early game. When you hit level 6, you start winning as long as you haven't lost too much early game. Easy ult target. Camille support is a bit funny because we have seen a lot of Camille support as a reaction to Bard support, right? But Bard wins majority of the matches into Camille. Like Bard has a positive win rate into Camille, so it's not really a proper counter. What it is though is that if you pair Camille with an AP carry, so she can just perma roam, then you would put Camille up here. But if you pair Camille with an AD carry, while she has to play for lane, then you would put Camille down here in either one of these two. So I'm just gonna put her here in even skill matchup because she will eat to the wall, which makes it really easy for you to stun. Her ult will stop your portal though, so that can be kind of hard. There is skill matchups in this, but overall, as long as she's not paired with an AP carry, she's kind of easy to play against. If she's paired with an AP carry while she can perma roam from level 1, can be really hard to match because her level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is way stronger than Bard. Bard need a bit of HP and armor from items before he gets to the same strength level. No, Camille support does not require a hand. Camille top lane requires a hand because it's hard to lane against most champions, so you have to be really smart in how you actually trade. Camille support, in the other hand, you just go around and you play like an idiot from level 1. The champion is insanely high skill ceiling top lane, insanely low skill ceiling support. There's a very big difference between if it's a top lane or a support. Damn, there's so many champions. Cassiopeia is just really fucking strong. I'm like, this shit is up here. Cassiopeia is overall an incredibly strong AD carry in the current patch. But when you look at it from Bard's perspective, it's super hard as well. Her poison and E has long range, longer range than your auto attack. Her W grounds you, so you can't take the portal as long as you're in that. And her damage output is absurd, and you don't have really ever a window to punish her. And she builds quite tanky with either Seraphs or Rylai's or both of them, meaning that he gets quite a lot of HP and shield, so she's hard to just one-shot through the Bard ult. So she's portal to therapy, I would say. Like, I hate seeing Cassiopeia on enemy team. That champion is ultra strong. Corki is quite easy. He's not that long-range AD carry. They nerfed his burst damage by a lot, so he's not too hard to play against. Draven is kind of the same. I would put him, honestly, down here. It kind of depends on his support, right? Bard counters him via the items he built at the very start, and Bard has a very easy way to just shut him down with Bard ult, and he's not super long range. The only issue could be if he gets to snowball because his support plays really well, but if we just look at what I think when I see Draven at enemy team as Bard, I don't mind it too much. Elise is a very big counter. She did get nerfed, so let's put her here. Elise is one of the best Bard counters in the game. She wins a lot of the games into Bard. She has a stronger laning phase, and she roams better than Bard in the early game. She's kind of like Pyke, but on crack. Because Pyke, you at least build armor early game, so you kind of counter him, you outscale him really hard. You also outscale Elise, but it takes far longer time, and Elise gets way more damage and HP and durability than Pyke does, and her E is safer than Pyke's E. So she's really hard. You generally want to try to just play as safe as possible, and if you're both same goal at level 6, you have done really well and you will probably win the game. But if she managed to get any lane ahead or you're behind or anything, it becomes really rough. So that champion is just really good into Bard. Ezreal, same reason. Ezreal has a blink, so it's hard to ever ult or Q Ezreal. You basically have to wait for his abilities to be down before you get to play. You can always try to auto and portal behind him to try to cut him off, but overall Ezreal has far greater range than Bard, so he can space the Bard really easily, and he always have to mess up before you can punish him. If he doesn't mess up, you can't do shit against him. Fiddlestick. This is Fiddle support. I don't think Fiddle support is a big issue for Bard at all. I would put him down here. His Q range is really low. His E is annoying to deal with, but it's not too big of an issue, and Bard definitely has better roams than Fiddlestick support as well, so I would put him there. Not a champion I'm afraid of at all when I see. Galio, on the other hand, can be quite hard for Bard. Galio has a way stronger laning phase, counters the magic damage Bard does. Like the electrocute proc, the auto attack Q, electrocute, gets eaten by the spell shield or magic shield on the W. He also has really good base damage, and he has an easy time to match Bard's roams with his own ult. So I would say he's not a direct counter, it's not horrible, but he's definitely not a skill matchup, he's worse than that. This line here is gonna be where majority of the champions are gonna be, because most matchups are straight up skill matchups. Bard doesn't have a champion pool where he completely counters them, right? Like, there's not a champion I look at and think, Bart just free wins this. There's some mages I'm gonna put down here though, because Bart just gets to roam and do everything he wants. Gragas. I never play against Gragas. I would say Bart kind of counters, right? Gragas is, yeah. I would put him here. Left to right doesn't matter. He's too short range. He's very gold dependent champion. And he doesn't get that gold when he's playing support. He also loves levels, which he won't get. So unless you spam die level 1-2, you're gonna be fine. Heimerdinger AD carry can be good. I would put it here. Any mage is kind of hard to play against, but I don't think Heimerdinger is as hard as Aurelion Sol, because he's a bit shorter range. He has to play around the turrets, which you can deal with quite easily. And he's super immobile Heimerdinger, so you can just ult him on repeat as well. I've been sitting and thinking about the Yasuo. I never look at Yasuo and think, shit, but it's also not free. It's a skill matchup. Like Yasuo's win wall counters your Bard Q, but it's easy to ult the Yasuo and whoever he ults and just set up a stun from that point. Because realistically, Yasuo will win wall before he ults to get into a position where he can ult, right? Most of the time. Then you ult him, then you stun him, and then you try to space him with your AD carry. He's also a melee, so it's quite easy to auto space him. And the first few levels he's quite weak. But he also have a lot of tools that can counter you, and he scales really well. So he's a skill matchup, how to put it. Hwei, like all mages, are kinda up here. Mages are just harder to play against for Bard in many scenarios because they're way better at 1v2, so they enable their support a lot more. They can clear minion waves incredibly fast, which makes it hard to set up a dive. So the only time you really have kill pressure on them is if they're pushing into your turret, which is often them misplaying. So, but it's not a direct counter, so I'm not gonna put it up in the top 2, but it's definitely a feeling the spice. Janna is kinda easy, I would say. Maybe it's a skill matchup. I find it not too hard, but I think it's more fair to put it in a skill matchup. She has better range than Bard. She has a bit more damage early game than Bard, unless you actually hit the Q, but it can be hard to hit the Q because of the movement speed she gets from the W. She is really good at disengaging when you want to engage. Yeah, it's a skill matchup. Jhin is the exact same as the other AD carries here, by the way. Long range, so he's better early game, but immobile, so from level 6 you can all in and kind of force flash or kill him. So he gets to control the first few levels, but you get to control from level 6 and onwards. Exact same with Jinx. Jinx and like all of these AD carriers are the exact same, right? Long range, immobile, which means that level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is really hard because you're 500 range versus 6 to 650, depending on which one of them it is, right? But from level 6 you get to control because they have to respect your ult. Kaisa is a bit easier. She's short range. She doesn't get to dictate level 1, 2, 3, 4 in the same way. It's a bit support dependent how much she's allowed to do, but she's easier to play against. She's still immobile like the other AD carries. You just have to play around the movement speed from the E, but overall she doesn't get the same presence as the other AD carries does. Kalista is honestly a bit hard. She's really hard to hit with abilities. She's quite long range as well, and she does a fuck ton of damage. She's not the greatest AD carry, but looking at it from a Bard perspective, she's kind of troublesome to deal with. Karma is a skill matchup. Karma has better laning phase, but Bard has far better roam and far better mid game. Late game, Karma's better as well. Isn't Karma good against Bard because you have to build servants first? You don't have to build servants. That was only the case back when Moonstone was ridiculously overpowered. So servants is not a must anymore into Karma like it used to. It used to be a must. Now I never really play Serpent's Fang at all because they nerfed the Moonstone interaction. Karthus, like most others, I don't think he's actually as bad as the others. Yo, he is. He has stronger laning phase than Bard. He scales really well into the game, and you can't just ult him and kill him because he will still do damage. Yeah, he definitely deserves to be up here. He's troublesome no matter how I look at it. He's always kind of an issue. Kog'Maw has 2 builds, right? The AP build is a bit more troublesome than the on-hit build. On-hit build is fairly easy to play against because you just play around the W cooldown. The AP build kind of one-shots the minion wave and outranges you and pokes you down without you being able to do a lot. If we were just purely talking about the AP build, I would put it up here. But since the on-hit build is more popular than the AP build, I'm gonna put him down in even skill matchup. But just pointing that out. Because he's long range and he does a ton of damage. He's really easy to ult though, right? And you have a cooldown you just play around. But if he's an AP, you don't have the same cooldown to play around. And he just constantly outranges you. So it's hard to even get an ult on him because he can also just buy Banshee. Leona's a skill matchup, and she's a fun skill matchup. So Leona wins against the unaware Bard quite easily. But if you understand that Leona's E will always point towards, will make her land at your back, and you position accordingly, meaning that you always position with a wall next on your back. You can Q backwards when she E's you to stun her before she can Q you. So now she's in a bad position while you're not stunned, and you kind of get to just space her. But if you're not doing that correctly, and you don't space her, and you don't play around her E, then you'll have a horrible time. But I think majority of bot players probably lose to Leona, to be fair, because her E is same range as your auto attack. So if you're in auto attack range of her, then she's in E range of you, which is deadly. Lucian is not hard to play against. You just have to play around his dash, right? If you Q before his dash, you fucked up and you deserve to lose. But if you hold your Q for his E and you just kind of auto attack, he doesn't have a high amount of damage. He doesn't scale incredibly well into the game, and he's low range, so he's not really big issue for bot. Lulu's kind of the same. She's not too hard to play against. In my opinion, Lulu's down here. I don't think she's a skill matchup. Lulu used to be incredibly overpowered and very hard to play against, but then they nerfed her 8 times in a row. Last year, I think it was. And now she's no longer overpowered with dumb numbers. And now we can actually just compare Kit versus Kit, and Bart will do around the same damage as her, if not more, with the Electrocute proc. He scales better into the game than Lulu, and he roams better than Lulu. Lulu can roam. Lulu can ward alone because he's super immobile. She can only stand super far behind, so she has no way to win laning phase. If both players play accordingly of how they're supposed to, Bart always wins versus Lulu. I think Lux is hard. Actually, I think Lux is like a skill matchup. She far outranges you. Mana is a fixed stat on Lux, I feel like. She gets to control laning phase completely. Whether she's AD carry or support, she controls laning phase. She outranges you. If she misses Q, it's whatever, because she is far away from you. If she hits Q, you're basically dead. But she is immobile, and you can play off of your level 6, and she has a hard time roaming. Your level 6 is stronger than her level 6, and you out-roam her, but you can't really play lane at all versus her, which means you could build a very big lead and make your AD carry suffer a lot. So it's not the greatest. Maokai completely counters Bart. Maokai's W range is the same as Bart's auto attack range. The W dodges the Q, the W will follow through Bart's portal. Maokai also sets up objectives better than Bart. He has better objective control. He just wins majority of the matchups into Bart. The only way a Bart can beat him is baiting him into a portal he doesn't want to, where he clicks W on you and then you kidnap him basically. But in a straight team fight, Maokai just adds more value than Bart ever can, and he has a stronger laning phase as well. Mel is the same. This is Mel AD carry, by the way. This is Maokai support. Mel sucks to play against. She's not the same level as Cassiopeia, because she's not gonna murder your ass. But you can't do anything into her. You can never Q her, because she will reflect it and fuck you over. So the counter to her is not using your abilities. But without your abilities, you're not really a lot of things. You can't really ult her either, because you can't follow up on your own ult because of the fucking reflect as well. So no matter what, you are kind of forced to just roam when Mel is in bot lane. You can't really play at all. So yeah, that's just kind of how it is. Mel is horrible to play against for Bart. Milio is really easy. He can't cleanse your ult, so you just set up very easy gank. He's not very long range, so he's overall quite easy to play versus. Misfortune is fairly easy. Not long range, not mobile at all. Immobile, low range AD carry, not big issue at all. Immobile is MF immobile? Yeah, because you just auto attack her and then she doesn't have that movement speed meaty. I'm not saying you should just ult her while she has her hearts around you. You just go up to her, you auto attack and then you ult her, because she loses the movement speed when she's in combat. So really easy to play around her movement speed, like incredibly easy. And since she's short range, it's really easy to auto attack her, right? Because she's not long range, far away from you. Yeah, but it's easier to do on low range champions than high range champions, right? Because the high range champions will be further away from you and you're gonna take a bit of auto attacks before you get into auto attack yourself. Morgana is the same. Morgana has a spell shield, which in theory makes it hard to play against her, but it's really long cooldown. And if your Q breaks the spell shield and then hits a champion minion wall, then whoever he hits with the Q is still gonna get stunned. The spell shield is not gonna block the stun if the spell shield gets broken by the Q, which means Morgana's spell shield is kinda useless into Bart, right? Her Q is the slowest ability in the game, so if you get hit by Morgana Q, then you deserve to lose. So I'm gonna put it here. Nami is a bit of a skill matchup. No, not anymore. Not after. Nah, they buffed her. Nami is weird, right? Like, it's hard to trade into Nami because her heal kind of counters your damage, right? but she cannot match your roams. But she scales better into team fights than you do. I'm gonna put her in skill matchup because you can roam and set the entire map on fire without her being able to do anything, because you also can't really set up dives on your AD carry. But she does scale better than you, and she does add a lot of value. Nautilus is honestly easy to play against. Hear me out here before you turn the torches on. It's hard for him to hit a hook on you because you can just play in the minion wave. If he is instead hooking your teammate or ult in a teammate, it's really easy for you to just ult his backline when he's using full engage. And then you can just kill him during the engage. He doesn't roam as well as you. He's not as mobile as you because of the portal movement speed versus just the hook. He does have kill pressure on you. He can fuck you up if you mess up, but it's on you to make a mistake to lose. It's not like it's a skill match where he can make you lose because he did this and this. You're realistically always gonna win into him because his kit is very straightforward. I'm not an apologizer. I'm saying Bard counters Nautilus. Do you guys not agree? Like, I think Bard is really good into Nautilus. I think Bard is really good into Rel as well for the exact same reason, right? Like, Rel and Nautilus are both down here. It's because Blitzcrank has an easier... so the idea here is, right? If he clicks ult or hooks in on your team, he's in the fight, and you just ult the teammates that want to follow up on the fight. So you can completely negate his engage, right? Blitzcrank will hook your ally into his team, so you can't negate the engage because he's not in danger when he hooks and he kidnaps a teammate, where Nautilus ult doesn't do that. So it's way easier to shut these two down and what they want to do compared to what this champion want to do from Bard's perspective. You're gonna upset a lot of silver Bards when those... That's why I'm explaining my thought process, right? And why these things are. This is not a bronze tier list, right? This is a tier list from my POV, how I look at it. So why is Leona even then? Because Leona has a stronger laning phase. You can't just play in the minion wave than Leona. Leona has a better overall fish ability. Leona's ult is super low cooldown, and so she's not as reliant on that cooldown as Nautilus is. And if she fucks up an E or Q cooldown, is also lower cooldown, and she's way tankier than Nautilus as well. So her laning phase is harder to play against for Bard, because Bard can't just play in minion wave compared to versus Nautilus. Similar to Rel? No. No, because Rel is way squishier and Rel's ability is way easier to dodge. Rel's abilities are all skill shots. Leona's is not. Bard is basically good against engage and bad against mages. He's not bad against mages, he's bad against enchanters. Enchanters are generally good into Bard, while mages are bad into Bard. Because mages don't help their team, they just do damage, and they don't roam, and they have a hard time warding. Enchanters outscale Bard. So if a game goes beyond, I would say 22 minutes, they start giving more value to the game than Bard ever can. So does that make sense why I have Leona up here as a skill matchup, while here I can straight up counter very easily? Neeko can be hard. So Neeko is not like the other mages. She has good roaming because she actually has mobility with her W. She has good damage, and she doesn't care about damage items. She doesn't care about experience. So she will go proto build into tank items, and she will go the tank support item as well, Celestial Opposition. And she has really easy time warding alone as well. So she's straight up a skill matchup. You can still counter her with a good ult. If she goes in, you can ult the teammates that want to follow up. The same thought process that Rel Nautilus, but it's not as easy to see if she's doing that because of the camouflage ability, right? Like she could hide in the minion wave, she can be a different champion. Like you have to spam tap a lot more to see if she's actually on vision without being on clear vision or not. So she makes it a lot harder for you to play. Nyla is gonna be put down here. Super low range. She does scale incredibly well, but most games are over before she gets to that scaling point. Her W that makes it so you can't auto attack her. The Meep still does damage to her, so she still gets slowed. Her Q is easy to hit. She's easy to kite. She's easy to auto space. So this is not a champion I'm afraid of when I play Bard. Pantheon will be here. He's kind of like Camille in the exact same way. Pantheon has better roams early game than Bard has because of the damage value and easy stun, but he falls off really hard and he's really gold dependent and your items directly counter him. Poppy is kind of a counter, right? You can never portal because both the E and the W will fuck you up, right? And it's hard to trade into her. The only positive here is that you outscale her, but if we just look at the first 15 minutes, which is the most important part of the game, Poppy gets to dictate everything around the map. For Carlson made this thing, but like, that's just not Bard. Bard doesn't have a completely free matchup where you're just like, oh, okay, I win. Bard is overall a champion where most matchups are gonna graduate towards a skill matchup. There's not a single matchup I ever look at and think, oh, cool, free free LP. Like, it just doesn't happen. I don't think there's a single champion I'm gonna put in here. There's a lot of fairly easy matchups, but not a completely free matchup. A pretty balanced champion, not in a way that his stats aren't busted like it seems Bart takes on skill. Bart is a high skill ceiling champion, which is why you will find these skill matchups a lot, right? If we were looking at this 3 weeks ago, before he got nerfed, it would look a bit different. Because he was just so busted that he would just murder everyone, like it didn't matter. Like the skill matchup wasn't relevant because he would just auto-attack everyone to death. That's not the same anymore, right? Luckily, he's a lot more of a skill champion now than he was on patch 12. He was just doing way too much damage. Pyke is a skill matchup. As much as, in my opinion, Bart counters Pyke, he does get to completely dictate level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Kind of like Camille and Pantheon. He just falls off a lot harder than Camille and Pantheon. So I'm gonna put him there. Armor completely counters him and you out damage him as well, but he does have a better level, a few levels than you. So he does have a timer where he can fuck you up or the team up. Rakan is a skill matchup. So you can stun him and cancel his W if you Q stun him during the W. You can hit easy double ults or double stuns if you wait for his E. But he also have a frick ton of mobility. It makes it hard for you to shut him down. And he can really impact every team fight. So both champions have a lot of things they can do against each other. Renata, in theory, counters Bart early game because 600 range and her trade pattern is shield that does damage, but the champion is just so bad number-wise. She doesn't scale very well. She doesn't have the strongest laning phase. Her CC ability, her Q, is really slow and low range. She's just not great. Samira is kind of the same. Low range, she has the possibility of snowballing just like Draven has, but overall, you have so many tools to make it so she never snowballs and shut her down even if she snowballs. Senna is a skill matchup. Her mist can be hard to play against. She's long range. She has a lot of utility as well. So that's a skill matchup. But again, around level 6, whenever you have ult up, you either force a flash or you can force a kill if you ult correctly. But she does scale really well and she has stronger presence than you early game. This doesn't matter if it's AD carry or support. It's the exact same skill matchup for the exact same reasons. They even pretty much build the same other champions, right? Seraphine is kind of hard. She outranges Bart. She is an enchanter, so she scales incredibly well into the game, but she's still immobile. It's still easy to counter her. You have a lot of different tools to shut her down, but if the game goes on too long, above 20 minutes, he starts highly outvaluing the Bard, and it can be hard to play. Shaco is shit. Doesn't matter if it's AD Shaco or AP Shaco support. It doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't do enough CC. It just doesn't do enough. It's countered by Sweeper. Like, you just get Sweeper and the champion doesn't do anything, and it's countered by pings as well. Like, the Shaco support is really bad into Bard. The AD Shaco will never have enough damage to kill Bard because first item is always armor on Bard, whether it being Deadman's Blade or Locket. And AP Shaco doesn't do a lot of damage. It's more disruption, but disruption countered incredibly easy by control wards that are super cheap or Sweeper that is free. So yeah, not great. Bard Q works in Shaco boxes. Yeah, they do. It's bugged. They do. So Bard can stun people on stealth boxes. It's one of the interactions that's not been removed, and it feels like cheating. It feels like bug abusing when you do it, but it's been left in the game for over a year at this point, so it's just what it is. Sivir is low range AD carry, where her defensive ability gets countered by Bard Q, because he can only either block the damage part or the CC part, which means the Q will always have value if you hit her, and you just kind of auto-attack her to death, so not really that great. Skarner support, one of my favorites. I love Skarner support when I'm banned as Bard, but he can never E through a wall because Bard will just stun him, and that makes it really hard for him to do anything, and he roams far worse than Bard does as well. Smolder is a skill matchup. He scales really well. He's super safe with the E, so it's hard to shut him down with the Bard ult. He has good range and he has auto attack reset, so he has quite good damage as well. Sona is one of the best supports. She has a stronger laning phase than Bard, more range than Bard, and she scales far better into the game. Normally, Sona will get farmed when she's picked, and she will just kinda be super behind because of gold, but Bard can't do that against Sona, and then she just gets the free scale, and she's the best scaling support in the game, so she just free wins most games. Soraka is probably down here. That champion sucks. Her abilities are super slow, not very long range. She's not mobile, so it's easy to just engage on Soraka in every team fight and kill her as the first person. And even if you don't kill her as the first person, the W is super low range, so she's kind of forced to be in the middle of a fight while not being very tanky at all. So it's really easy to shut her down. Swain, like most mages, is up here. He has good wave clear. He's very beefy, so hard to deal with, and he does quite a lot of damage. This is 80 carry Swain. Support Swain is barely ever played, so I'm not really gonna talk about support Swain. This is 80 carry Swain. Sylas, 80 carry slash support. We're seeing more and more 80 carry Sylas, or even in pro play right now. And Sylas support has also been a thing for a bit. Not super popular, but it exists. It's a skill matchup. If he hits E on you, you're dead. He will just one-shot you. If he doesn't hit E, he's useless. So complete skill matchup. You have the range. You should be able to space him all the time, but the E, like if you get hit by E, you're dead. It's just that simple. So I'm gonna put him in skill matchup. It doesn't matter if it's 80 carry support. It's the exact same. Syndra, as any mage, is incredibly strong into Bard. She is super safe. She can farm from long range away, and she can one-shot you basically at any moment if you fuck up. Tahm Kench is easy, whether it being 80 carry or support. I played a lot against it, both of them. He's too slow, he's too big, his abilities are too transparent, and he doesn't do enough damage. Taric is a skill matchup. If you auto attack him, you're in his stun range. If you get stunned, you're fucked. If you dodge the stun, he's kind of useless. So complete skill matchup. I'd never see Teemo. I'm gonna put Teemo up here, sorry. That was not right to put him in. Thresh is a skill matchup, a fun skill matchup. The way we look at this matchup is if you ult while he has lantern up, he wins. If he lanterns before you ult, then you win. It's a patience game. Obviously, you don't want to get hooked. He doesn't want to get queued. Basically, none of those things should ever happen because you kind of just space each other. So it just comes down to who uses their W or ult first. Whoever uses it first will lose. Super fun skill matchup. Tristana is an all-in 80 carry with low range and not that much damage early game, countered by armor too easily, and it's incredibly hard for her to buffer your ult. It can be done, but even challenger players are struggling doing it, so Tristana is a fairly easy matchup. Twitch is the same. As long as you keep track of his stealth and you buy control wards, he's low range that won't get ahead during laning phase, and it's really easy to counter him with an ult. He will click out of Q, starts ulting, you insta-ult him. He either has to flash or you're gonna kill him. Varus is a skill matchup. He's quite long range, utility 80 carry, always good, but he's immobile, so super easy to ult. Vayne, short range, is a bit more mobile, but as long as you just wait to ult until her Q is down, then it's easy to hit ult. Veigar as any mage is really hard to play against. AP carry. Vel'Koz is the exact same. They farm super safely. They end up getting quite a lot of HP because a lot of them, proto build and such, that are super popular right now, all gives too much HP, and they still do so much damage. Victor is the same. Vladimir is the same. Like, all of these kind of falls into the same category of immobile mages that are super tanky, so harder to deal with, can play 1v2 incredibly easily, but and scales really well. Opinion on Vel'Koz support in Lowmaster. Vel'Koz support is shit. This is Vel'Koz AP carry. No one really plays Vel'Koz support. Like, it has a really low pick rate. It has 3%, so it does exist, but Vel'Koz AD carry is like 10 times better than Vel'Koz support. Xerath is just a shit champion, so he doesn't get up there. Even though he is also an AP carry, he does less damage, he's less reliable, and he's never gonna get really that tanky. Zyra is a skill matchup. Her ult counters your ult, but he's not that long range, so she's a bit easier to play against. Yunara is the exact same. Play around her ult dash cooldown, and you're golden. If you mess up, you will have a hard time playing into her. Yuumi is free roam. She will outscale you, but she can never set up dives on your AD carry. She cannot match your roams, so you basically just get to control the map majority of the game. But if you don't win through those roams, you will have a hard time. Zac support used to be really good, got nerfed hard, so kind of easy to play against now. It used to do a ton of damage, doesn't do a ton of damage anymore. Siri AD carry is super low range, but she can have a dash, but she's easy to play against. Ziggs, same as the other one. Zyra, the same as the other one. Zoe is a skill matchup, whether being AD carry support. She doesn't have the same wave clear, so she's easier to play against. But if she hits a bubble, she can kind of run you over, right? Cillian is the best champion in the game. Now, like, Cillian is likely here. If the Cillian understands how to itemize just stacking abilities and that he has to max out his E first, then it's really hard to play against. You're basically playing versus 6 players instead of 5 players. His ult doesn't really have a downside. His E ability is incredibly strong. It's overall super hard to play against it, but you can counter him. You do have a better early game than him. You do roam better than him. Talia AD carry is the exact same, yeah, true. This is how I would put it. There's really only one champion that is incredibly incredibly hard to play against. Then there's 5 champions that are really hard to play against. And then there's a lot of champions that are more likely to win than I am. And then there's skill matchup, and then there's just free matchups. There's not a single where like, well, 3 and 3, where you're supposed to win. Like this is the exact same as this up here, basically. There's not a single free matchup. These immobile mages as difficult matchups is because they get too tanky and Protobell counters Bard. Yeah, but Protobell counters. If you pick Bard into these mages, they would buy Protobell stunted. And then you can't hit an ult on them at all. This up here are all fake mobility because they will just buy Protobell second item. So like it does not matter. Like it's basically the same issue as back when Stridebreaker gave a dash and it broke bruisers, right? Because bruisers are balanced around not having that much mobility. Mages are also balanced around not having that much mobility. But Protobell fixes it, just like Stridebreaker with a dash fixes it and makes them incredibly strong and removes their normal counter. Do you think they are more inherently OP or Bard struggle into them? Bard struggles into them because he only has skill matchups. But they are overall really strong right now. There's a reason that they are valued so high in pro play as well, right? Mages are super strong. And then there's other AD carries. Like this champion will obviously not get Protobell, but he will get Rylai's, he will get the entries, so he will have 4000 HP. So even if you ult him, he will have so much HP and maybe even an hourglass as well, that it's really hard to kill him through the ult unless he is so out of position that he doesn't have any teammates around him that will try to help him. But yeah, this is how I would look at it. A lot of these are either AD carry or support or duo, and this is from Bard support perspective. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, if you disagree or you agree, let me know in the comment field. If you have not yet, join the Discord and of course support the stream by downloading and installing Obra GX. Give me $3 for every single one that does that. Thank you so much for tuning in.